us. My name is Mark Lapwich, and I'm the president of the Brain Injury Association of York Region. While we hope to be able to return to our in-person annual mixer in 2022, we wanted to take this opportunity to share some of the amazing programs and events that took place this past year. We continue to provide our most popular programs, mindfulness and yoga, on a regular basis, while adding some new ones, including Tai Chi, dance, and weekly exercise. In addition to our virtual programming, we were able to offer several outdoor events with Jen Coburn, who spoke about some upcoming offerings earlier today. These in-person get-togethers have provided an opportunity for our members to reconnect in a fun and safe environment. On top of our programming, we had a stellar year in terms of educational presentations, a special highlight of which was a 5-part series prepared for Brain Injury Awareness Month. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize several inspiring ABI survivors who shared their skills and passions with us this year. Cassidy Bankson, who led us through her expressive arts workshop, Jayesh Prajapati, who taught our members about the benefits of meditation, Justin Morissette, who presented his Life After Brain Injury series, and Salima Andani, who provided us with an art journaling experience. I also want to thank Mary DeLallo, who has continued to lead our peer support group twice a month. This has remained an extremely important point of connection for our members during these difficult times. This year, Mary arranged for several guest speakers to attend some of the support meetings to offer additional insights on important issues. I'm incredibly proud of all of the hard work of our board members who volunteer so much of their time and work tirelessly to ensure that we continue to offer quality programming to our members. Last, but certainly not least, I would like to thank each and every one of our corporate sponsors, whose generous donations make all of this possible. A special thanks to our platinum sponsor for an incredible 4th year in a row, Oatly Vigman. We hope you enjoy the following video, which includes some highlights from this year, as well as testimonials from our amazing members.
My name is Adam Little, and I'm a partner at Oatly Vigman, Ontario's personal injury law firm. With me today is one of our accident benefits specialists, Colleen McDonald.
Adam and I are both board members with the Brain Injury Association of York Region, and we understand the importance and significance of the work the Brain Injury Association does in your communities.
Oatly Vigman is proud to support the Brain Injury Association of York Region through platinum sponsorship for the 4th year in a row. Thank you everyone for joining us today.
Headaches, neck pain.
Awful. Yeah.
Those are the big 3 for me, like the cognitive stuff, the headaches, and the neck pain, as well as like that fatigue, like that stamina throughout the day. I just didn't have that anymore, which is really difficult when you said like you go from doing so many things in a day. You go from being like up in the morning, going to work, going to the gym, going about your daily life, and then you have this accident that like strips those things away from you. And so I would spend most of my summer like resting, going to physio, doing my exercises. It's like you do a 180 like really quickly.
Every relationship starts with oneself. So it is important that we do our own work. Who we are as individuals are who we bring into a relationship. So the quality of our relationship is going to really be determined upon the type of work that we do to be the best versions of ourselves.
Dizziness is one of the most commonly reported symptoms after a concussion, and it's really only second to headaches. It's been shown that the presence of vestibular and visual issues soon after a concussion is associated with a higher risk of developing persistent symptoms and having a prolonged recovery. So for the majority of concussed patients, recovery usually occurs within the first 2 weeks, but there is a percentage of concussed patients who go on to develop persistent symptoms. And then this is often called post-concussion syndrome or considered as having persistent post-concussive symptoms.
I don't want the world around me to become easier just so I can do stuff. I just need to adapt to how to do things differently. Because that's one of the hard things for me is I don't need things made easier for me. I don't need you to do stuff for me just because I have trouble doing something. I adapt. I always make things work. And it's one of the things I'm proud of is I've always been able to go into a situation and figure out, okay, how do I make this work for myself?
Hello, I'm Sangeeta Balsara from Empowering Mind and Body, and I've been offering the Thursday evening Release and Restore group yoga therapy sessions. Each week, it's an honor for me to lead this group of individuals on their journey back to wholeness and health. Their commitment to the program, their dedication to themselves, and their ability to smile through it all is truly inspiring. It has been a joy to work with the amazing group of board members that put these programs together. Whether it's technical support, scheduling conflicts, or general questions, they're always there to provide support. The experience of working with the board has been seamless, and interacting with the members has been fulfilling personally. Thank you for this experience, and I look forward to many, many more group yoga therapy sessions.
Hello. I'm Elaine, a certified yoga therapist with Empowering Mind and Body. And I was so pleased to be given the opportunity through Christina at Empowering Mind and Body, and as well as Rachel, Sonia, and all other members of the board of directors at BIAYR to offer Rise and Shine yoga therapy sessions on Tuesday mornings. Being able to provide yoga therapy via a safe and accessible platform to those living with brain injury and their caregivers has been a rewarding, eye-opening experience. Those sessions are carefully prepared towards participants' needs and capabilities, which can fluctuate quite often. Often, sessions will flow organically depending on those present. Observing participants adapt and safely challenge themselves has been an inspiration as they navigate through challenges to move mindfully, breathe consciously, and simply engage in a sense of peaceful presence and community with those going through similar experiences. Along the way, we have been lucky enough to enjoy some beautiful live music and share a little bit about ourselves beyond the effects of life changes due to brain injury. Caregivers are also often present, offering encouragement. And knowing that even if only for an hour, those caring for the injured are being supported as well has been an honor to witness. The request to want to hear from those offering workshops is a testament in itself to your commitment to providing various opportunities towards rehabilitating and encouraging a greater quality of life to those living with brain injury. So I am grateful to have been given even a small role in this community's generous cause. And I hope that testimonials such as this one accurately reflect the positive effect of workshops and all other perhaps unseen efforts on behalf of the BIAYR. Thank you.
The benefits of exercise. I think this slide kind of summarizes things pretty well from a physiological perspective. And we'll dive into a little bit of the nitty-gritty here. there is that neurogenesis, which is really a fancy way of saying creates more connections in your brain. And the whole, like, it makes you smarter or sharpens your mental acuity is definitely supported by research. And what happens is the brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, fancy protein in our supporting cells. Essentially, when you have regular exercise, it promotes that, and that BDNF is necessary to create more or new nerve cells.
I want to talk a little bit about the impact of emotional and behavioral changes. And the reason for this is because this, from my experience, is really where, having worked in this area for quite some time and working with a lot of individuals who've sustained a brain injury, I hear a lot about this area being one of the areas that really has an impact, such a widespread impact in a person's life.
This is a picture here of a nerve cell. And when your nerve sends an electrical signal, it travels along this thing here called the axon. That's where that electrical signal travels. And this axon is protected by something called the myelin sheath. And the myelin sheath requires specific nutrients to function properly. Some of these nutrients that the myelin sheath needs is omega-3 fatty acids, which we get from things like fish, from nuts. It also needs vitamin B12, which we get from meat. It also needs something called folic acid, which we get from green leafy vegetables, and something called lecithin, which we can get from eggs. The egg yolk has lots of lecithin in it.
Hi everyone, I'm Mary, and this is a group of people who get together every Monday to play crib.
I'm Joseph. I'm one of the people that play crib.
Hi, I'm Rod.
I'm Richard. Thank you.
I'm Brent. Thanks, BIAYR, for hosting the Monday cribbage games. Really appreciate it.
Hello.
Thanks, BIAYR.
Always look at your goals and realize when you just need to change it, that it might not be realistic. You're never failing a goal. You're never failing yourself. You just have to reevaluate and look at the goal and make a new one. And that is really what I'm hoping for, that you take away, that even one goal is enough to progress you forward and give you that hope and motivation.
When I first had the accident, I was so looking forward to be where I am today. It took me 8 years, but I never stopped thinking and wishing and working towards this goal. And my stubbornness and my desire to don't accept no as an answer brought me to where I am. So I believe all of us have the possibility and the choices to make and create a beautiful life for ourselves.
Choose your focus wisely. I love this quote, what you seek is seeking you. There's other ways of saying this. I think, the Bible talks about seek and ye shall find. These are old sort of wisdom here in these sayings, but they're so very true.
When we do neurologic music therapy, we're using music as a very powerful tool in rehabilitation and in therapy. We're not trying to produce musicians, although I often get referrals of musicians who have an injury, and for them the recovery of some of their musical skills is very important. But in general, we're looking at how do we use music to help restore and recover non-musical brain and behavior functions. And I'm going to speak a little bit in detail of how that works.
After a brain injury, you can imagine how much more intense it is on top of a pandemic. So that same event after a year of a pandemic on top of a brain injury feels like this. That same stressor after a year of a pandemic on top of a brain injury, feels like this. And then that same challenge after a year of a pandemic feels like this after a brain injury. So I just want us to make sure we're on the same page about that, because, a child especially, they've had their own set of challenges, their own set of stressors during this pandemic, and add on top of that a brain injury, you can imagine just the weight of everything that they're dealing with, especially when it comes to return to school.
So straight from the CRA website, what is the disability tax credit? It's a non-refundable credit that helps people with disabilities supporting persons with the amount of income tax that they may have to pay. The purpose is to provide greater tax equity, which basically means that CRA understands that people who've been injured have increased costs and have decreased ability to earn a living. And as such, they're trying to rebalance the scales by providing some tax equity, as they call it. Ultimately, what that means is you get about an additional $8,000 in deductions that you're eligible for, or that the injured person or disabled person's family would be eligible for. And this is the main criterion for opening a registered disability savings plan.
We offer programs to people with physical disabilities. We offer programs to people with intellectual disabilities, stuff like autism or Down syndrome. And we offer programs for people with mental health issues, whether it's anxiety or depression or an eating disorder, somebody that's recovering from a stroke, or has a brain injury. Anybody that could benefit from our services, we are open to having them come here. And we were built with accessibility as our core purpose. So what that means to us is not just that if you're in a wheelchair you can get around. It means that we have an obligation to make our programs accessible to you, whatever your circumstance happens to be.